going to talk about my cameras today, and I am using the iPhone 6 to start with. So I've realized this is actually records in 1080p, but not the selfie cam facing this way. So it's like probably, I don't know, a 720. But anyways, I'm going to go through all of the cameras that I got so you can know about them and how they run and what I liked and what I didn't. So hopefully I can help somebody in picking out cameras to do their vlog or whatever. Here it is, the Dbc Digital Video Camera. You can take a look. It doesn't have a lens cap or a little switch that turns off the lens. Okay, so here is a weird thing when you flip it to do like selfie mode. The screen is upside down. You see that? You can see when you screw it down to your tripod, there's this little gap here, which means the camera can swing back and forth. It doesn't hold its position, so it can fall off your tripod, which is a really, really bad thing. We're going to start with my Samsung, which records in MPEG-4, but the resolution is 1696 960. It cost me about $230 about 7 years ago at Best Buy. Has 4 hours of battery life and 2 hours of recording time on SD. It has some nice features. It has like color filters and some manual stuff like white balance and shutter speed, and it is really not that bad. It is kind of my go-to camera before I got all of these other cameras. So my next one is the Sj4000 Sports Cam. It's kind of cool, but it's very limited, simple camera. I like it though. $10 on Wish. You cannot beat the price. It's 1920 1080 resolution. It has no zoom. Only has audio when it's outside the waterproof box. And when you have it outside the waterproof box, you cannot mount it to a tripod. That's kind of weird. It records to mini SD card, which could be up to like 2 or 4 hours, depending on the size of your SD card. I liked that. And it is tiny because you compare it to the size of my hand. Look at the size, it's very small. Now this next one I bought because it was $21 on Wish, and it ended up being the worst camera I have ever owned in my life. It says it's 1080p, but it is really not. This one is called the HD 1080p Dbc Video Camcorder, $21 on Wish. The frame rate is mismatched with the resolution, so it'll record in 1080, but the shutter speed is really slow, so it looks staggered like you're standing in a strobe light or something. This one I kind of liked a lot. This is the Andor HDV V7 Plus. And I spent a little extra and got the added features. I got the widescreen lens down here and the zoom microphone. This records in 1920 1080p, and it is actually what it says it is. 24 megapixels, digital zoom, night vision, and it records to the SD card, which is hidden in a nice spot. I'll show you. It's got an actual door covering where the SD card goes, so it is very much protected. You can see in there, that's where it goes. I really like this camera. It's going to be what I'm going to mostly use in the future. Pretty professional. One thing that I noticed about it though, it has a lot of manual features, which means I can adjust things, but it still films sort of in a grainy picture style, which could be great for making a film, movie style, which I think will be nice. But super crystal clear stuff, like television footage, it doesn't really stand up to that. But I'm still playing with the resolutions and the shutter speeds, and see what else it can do. I'm pretty happy with the microphone and the lens, really nice. This one, $130 for the extra features on Wish. The next camera I'm going to talk about is my LG Aristo 2. This is a $75 camera phone, and it comes with a $25 contract for Metro PCS. I liked this because I realized that it records also in 1080p, 13 megapixels onto an SD card, a micro SD card. I also use Dropbox so I can record and send it over the web to my computer really fast. I like that. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is my iPhone 6. I'm just going to read off the cord because I'm actually using my iPhone 6 to record. It's my go-to portable camera. I tend to photograph and film things with this just on the fly because I can edit with iMovie. It's an app that you can download for free, and then I send it with Dropbox over the web to store my photos and everything. This one also has 1080p 60 frames per second, so pretty much a standard film format, but you have to hold it sideways, and it's only through the front-facing camera that you get the full resolution for any phones. I like these because, you know, it has that added panoramic photo feature that can be fun on occasion. So, a couple of things that you can get a little bit more professionalism into your filmmaking is to pay attention to the lighting. The lighting is everything. You have the worst camera in the world and you have a good light, it's going to give you some good overall look to your film. Right now I'm using the Andor camera. It's full 1080p. It might be slightly grainy. We'll see if that comes out like that. Filming in the daytime and slightly overcast, but the sun is coming through the clouds over to the side here. So whenever I have shadows on the side of my face, I would take a white card and reflect it to the shadow side of the face to give more light on this side, so get a nice overall even lighting tone to everything. The best days to film outside is overcast. You get more of an even light tone over everything. If you have direct sunlight, you want to just watch those shadows. If you're filming inside, it's really important to white balance. Actually, anywhere, white balance your camera. You're going to give a better look to your filming when you can do that. I would recommend having a tripod. It gives you a nice steady camera. If you film kind of at the end of a sunset is a really good time to give that orangey kind of glow to your film. I'm also right now using wide angle lens. That's so I don't have to hold the camera way out here to get a decent shot. I can just kind of hold it here, and it kind of gives this more area to the film surface, like some more background area. I've got like ambient sound going on. You always have to pay attention to that. If you have too much ambient sound, it can take away from what the actor or the actress is trying to say. Right now, I think the birds and the bugs, the cicadas, are pretty nice. So, but like a little while ago, my neighbor was using a saw in the background, and you gotta kind of like just time you're filming around whatever noise is going on. If there's lots of traffic and you don't want traffic in your background, you have to pay attention to stuff like that. Most likely 2 lights is going to give you a better look. Pay attention to the background. Make sure all of this stuff here is interesting enough to make an interesting photographic shot. High angles are always nice. Makes a person kind of look thinner. Low angles make them look like ominous, like they're gonna attack you. That's it. If you have questions or you want to know more about filmmaking, I can let you know my trials and errors. If you like my show and you'd like to help out, you can support through the Patreon page that I have listed here, or you can buy art directly from me through my Facebook, which is Filmmaker55 or Brandy Devoid. The music here is recorded with GarageBand and I make it myself. So lovely, no royalties. That helps.